Have you ever felt like you're not alone in your own home? Like someone is watching you, breathing the same air? What if I told you a woman lived with a stranger in her house for weeks without knowing? This is a true story, not an urban legend, not fiction. It happened, and it could happen to you.
In September of 2008, a 44-year-old woman named Tracy moved into a quiet neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She had just gone through a tough divorce and wanted a peaceful space to rebuild her life. The house was perfect. 2 stories, cozy, with a big attic and a basement. It was old, but charming. But almost immediately after moving in, she began to feel something was off. She'd wake up to hear creaks and soft thuds in the night. She thought it was the house settling. After all, it was over 90 years old. But then, food started disappearing. At first, it was small, a missing yogurt, a granola bar. She blamed it on herself. Maybe she was tired, maybe she forgot. But deep down, she knew something wasn't right.
Things escalated. She started locking her bedroom door at night. She noticed her windows were open when she was sure she had closed them, and sometimes she'd smell cigarettes, even though she didn't smoke. One day, she came home early from work, and the toilet seat was up. She lived alone. At this point, Tracy started to feel like she was losing her mind. Was someone breaking in? Was she sleepwalking? Or was something darker happening? She installed cameras in her home, cheap ones just in the kitchen and living room, and that night she slept with a knife under her pillow. The next day, she checked the footage, and what she saw froze her blood. At 3:17 a.m., a figure appeared, crawling out of the attic hatch above the hallway. It was a man, thin, disheveled, wearing a hoodie. He landed softly on the floor, barefoot, and tiptoed into the kitchen. He opened the fridge, drank from the milk carton, ate her leftovers, and then he stared at her bedroom door. He didn't try to open it. He just stood there for nearly 10 minutes. Then, as quietly as he came, he climbed back into the attic. Tracy called the police immediately.
When the police arrived, they searched the attic. At first, it looked empty. Then they saw it. A pile of blankets, food wrappers, and a small radio. Someone had been living up there. They found cigarette butts, old clothes. It turned out the man was a drifter, someone who had broken into her attic weeks ago through a vent in the roof. He only came down when she was sleeping or at work. Tracy had been sharing her house with a stranger who watched her, listened to her, lived above her while she slept peacefully below. They arrested him that night. He was charged with trespassing, burglary, and stalking. Tracy moved out the same week. She never slept in that house again. And who could blame her? She later said, "I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was paranoid, but I wasn't." Trust your gut. If you feel like you're being watched, you probably are. She now lives in a new city, in a high-rise apartment. No attic, no basement, no more shadows above her. But every night, she still checks the ceiling, just in case. So next time you hear something in the dark, don't just brush it off. Look up, because sometimes what you fear most is already inside your home. If this story chilled you to the bone, hit that like button and subscribe for more terrifying true stories. You never know what's coming next. Until then, sleep tight.